Your dad drives a 19-year-old truck. You always thought it was because he couldn't afford better. You were wrong. You don't learn the truth at 18 or 25 or the day you buy your first house. You learn it 3 days after your daughter is born. You're 8 years old in the school parking lot. Every other dad has a new car. Yours has a faded blue truck, already rusting at the wheel wells. Kids laugh. You feel your face go hot. Even your mom didn't understand. Just once, she'd say, "Can't we get something newer?" Your dad always gave the same answer. Every single time. "We don't need it." 4 words, no explanation, no apology. You spent 20 years thinking those 4 words were the reason your family stayed poor. You still think that today. This story is about to prove you wrong. Slowly. Your dad grew up with nothing. 5 kids, 1 bathroom, a house that was never quite warm enough in winter. He learned early that wanting things out loud only got you laughed at. So he stopped wanting things out loud. At 24, he does something nobody understands. He buys a rundown duplex. Half the roof is missing. You don't buy a house that's falling apart, his own father tells him. You buy a house that works. Your dad doesn't argue. He just picks up a hammer. Is this stupid? He asks himself that more than once, alone on a ladder in the rain. Nobody comes to help him. He fixes it himself, 1 weekend at a time, saying nothing to anyone. Something small happens that he doesn't expect. The place starts paying for itself. He doesn't celebrate. He just quietly starts again, somewhere else. You're 11. It's a Saturday morning. Your dad leaves before you wake up. He does this most weekends. Where do you go? You ask him once. To check on something, he says. You follow him one Saturday, without telling him. He stops at a small house across town. A man shakes his hand, calls him boss. You don't understand what that means. You go home confused, and you never bring it up again. That same year, something strange happens at home. Your mom finds an envelope on the kitchen counter. She wasn't looking for it. She just saw it. She doesn't open it, but she asks him about it that night, quiet through the wall. What is this? She says. Nothing you need to worry about, he says. That's it. That's the whole conversation. You hear it from your room and don't understand any of it. She doesn't ask again. Not for years. At Thanksgiving that same year, your Uncle Ray shows up with a story. There's always a story. Just a little help, Ray says. I'll pay you back. He never pays anyone back. Your dad doesn't hand him cash. He never does. Let's look at what's actually going on, your dad says instead. Ray hates that sentence. Every time. I don't need a lecture, Ray snaps. I need help. Your dad stays calm. He always stays calm. Help that isn't understood, he says, isn't help. It's just a delay. Ray leaves angry. Your dad still writes him a smaller check anyway, quietly, before he goes. You watch this from the hallway. You're 12 now. You decide right then that your dad is cheap, not careful, cheap. You carry that belief for years. At 14, something happens that almost changes everything. A neighbor 2 houses down starts bragging about a new boat, a new truck, a second vacation home. Everyone on the street is impressed. Your mom looks at your dad like she's asking a question she won't say out loud. Your dad says nothing. He just keeps mowing the lawn. 2 years later, that same neighbor loses the house. Foreclosure sign in the yard by spring. Your dad still says nothing, but you notice he doesn't look surprised, not even a little. At 16, your friend Marcus comes over after school. He sees the truck first, then the house. Your dad drives that? Marcus says, not mean, just surprised. You shrug. It runs. Inside, your dad sits at the kitchen table with paper spread out and a coffee going cold. What's he do again? Marcus asks quietly. Property stuff, you say. You don't have a better answer. You've never had a better answer. That embarrassment sits with you longer than you expect. You start avoiding bringing friends home altogether. Your dad misses your basketball game one Saturday. First time ever. You're furious. You don't talk to him for 2 days. When he finally explains, he doesn't apologize the way you want him to. Some things needed handling, he says. I'll be at the next one. He is. He never misses another one after that. But something between you two stays a little quieter than before. Uncle Ray calls again. Older now, more desperate. He's about to lose his house. Your dad drives over that same night. He doesn't bring cash. He brings questions, hard ones, about spending, about choices, about patterns Ray doesn't want to look at. You're not behind on the mortgage, your dad tells him. You're behind on facing yourself.
Ray doesn't want honesty. Ray wants rescue. Your dad gives him a little of both, but never as much as Ray asks for. They don't speak for months after that. One night that same year, you walk past your parents' room. The door is half open. Your dad is sitting on the edge of the bed, alone, holding that same folder. Not reading it. Just holding it. He looks tired in a way you've never seen. Older than his age. You don't say anything. You back away quietly and never bring it up. At 26, you buy your first house. Small. Modest. The proudest moment of your life so far. You call to tell him. There's a long pause on the line. Almost too long. That's a good start, he finally says. Something in his voice sounds strange. Like a man standing at the edge of a decision he isn't ready to make. This is the closest he ever comes to telling you. You can hear something sitting right behind his teeth, unsaid. Instead he says, buy something that pays you back. Someday you'll understand what I mean. You hang up a little disappointed. You wanted him to sound impressed. He sounded distracted instead. He wasn't distracted. He was one sentence away from unraveling a lifetime of silence, and he pulled back at the last second. Uncle Ray calls one final time. You're 30 now. Ray is older, and this time it isn't a small ask. It's serious. Real fear in his voice this time. Your dad drives out that same night, same as always. This time, he doesn't ask a single hard question. He just handles it. Quietly. Completely. No lecture. No conditions. Ray doesn't understand why this time is different. Why now? Ray asks, stunned. Your dad's answer is short, the way it always is. Because this time it wasn't a choice you made. It was just life. He never explains further. Some things, even between brothers, stay unspoken. You don't hear about any of this until years later. At the time, you're busy with your own house, your own bills, your own version of not enough. You still believe, at 30, that your father is a modest man who worked hard and never got ahead. You have 3 more years before you find out how wrong you are. You're 33. Your daughter is 3 days old. You haven't slept. Real sleep, the kind that resets you. Just fragments, stitched together with feedings and diaper changes. Your dad calls. Come by the house, he says. Bring her for a minute. You almost say no. You're tired in a way you didn't know existed. You go anyway. He's standing in the driveway when you pull in. Same driveway. Same dent in the tailgate from years ago. The truck is still there. Older now. Somehow still running. He's holding the diaper bag before you even ask. He insists on carrying it himself. Sit down, he says. Before you go inside. You don't sit. You don't move. Something in his voice stops you. He pulls a worn folder from the truck's glove box. The same folder you saw once, at 11. The same one you saw him holding alone in the dark, years later. Your hands start shaking, and you don't know why yet. He doesn't hand you cash. He never does. He hands you a single sheet of paper instead. It isn't a bank statement. It isn't a will. It isn't insurance. It's something you never imagined he'd keep. You read it once. You don't understand it. You read it again. Your whole body goes still. It's a single investment account statement. $2.4 million. A number that erases every assumption you've ever made about him. That's not a gift, he says. That's a lifetime of quiet decisions nobody was watching. You ask the only question that matters. Why didn't you ever tell us? He looks at the truck before he answers, like it already knows the answer better than he does. Because the day people know what you have, he says, is the day they stop seeing you. They start seeing the number. You think about Marcus. The laugh in the driveway. The shrug you gave him at 16. You think about the neighbor with the boat, and the foreclosure sign the following spring. You think about Uncle Ray, and the questions, and the help that never looked like help. You think about your mom, and the envelope, and the one conversation that ended before it started. You think about, we don't need it. For words you hated for 20 years. They weren't an excuse. They were a decision, repeated quietly, until it became a life. Your daughter stirs in her car seat. Small. Unaware. 3 days into a world she doesn't understand yet. She won't know either, your dad says. Not for a long time. That's the point. You nod. You finally understand the 4 words. Your dad doesn't smile the way people do in movies. There's no champagne. No moment of triumph. He just leans back against the truck, the same dent, the same faded blue. Help me check the oil, he says. It's due. You do. Just like that. The biggest moment of your life, and you're both bent over an old engine that's worth almost nothing. That's when the thesis lands, quiet, the way everything about him has always been. Rich isn't what you show. It's what you don't need to prove. Your dad never had less. He just needed you to grow up first.